Hi, this is Roland with UrbanBushcrafter.com. As you can see, I've got the Christmas tree here. It's been limbed, got this piled up. Now it's time to process it further so that we can use all the wood in our projects later on. So one of the things that you can do here is I've got an old pan that we don't use in the kitchen anymore. You can save these little leaves off of the tree and just strip them on down into some kind of container. Like in this case, I'm using the pan. And I'll transfer them to something else to complete drying out. And this makes for some good tinder that you can use when you're practicing lighting fires, and it's always good to keep things on hand. Then I take these little twigs and either cut them or break them into pieces. This is a little bit big to do that right now. I'll do it later. And then make some little bundles of twigs that you can use also as tinder for starting fires. And then with this big log, I'll chop that up into sections that are usable. And I've got a small pile started over there, and then I've got some more wood on the other side of the property that I'm letting dry out in the sun so it can be used later. So a good option for drying and also for catching your material as you're doing it is, this is my dog's little swimming pool that he uses in the summer to keep cool, and he's not using it right now because it's too cold. And so what we can do is put these needles into this little pool here, set it out in the sun, maybe every couple of days flip it over until this is really good and dry, and then we can package it and use that for our tinder. Now here's what it looks like once we've got the pine needles stripped off, and as you can see they're over there in the tub. We've got the log laying out, and we've also got a pile of what's left of the branches from the tree. Those are going to get cut down and build in little bundles next. Alright, so here I am. We've already stripped down the rest of the needles off that. Got myself a pair of heavy scissors, and all I'm going to do is just cut this into some smaller pieces. And as you might be able to tell right now, it's still a little bit green still. That's alright, we don't need it to be completely dried out. It'll dry some more after we get this done. What I'm going to do is maybe get a bundle probably about twice that size, get it kind of stuck together there. And I'm going to use some jute twine. This stuff is also really good for getting fires started. This is a brand new roll, and so I'll get off a couple of feet here, and then just take that, twist it around the outside of that bundle, and then tie a knot, and then leave that laying around and let that dry out. And then if I want to start a fire with it later, that's going to be ready. Now I don't think this is quite dry enough to start a fire, but just to give you a little idea of how you might do that. Again, got my cooking pot that I'm not using anymore. They're great for keeping around to be able to practice fire building in. Got one of my bushcrafting knives, and I got myself a little Boy Scout hot spark fire starter that I keep with this knife. And so what you want to do is you just want to take this material and kind of use the knife to kind of tease apart the fibers. And you can spend more time doing this than I'm doing right here. This is a pretty quick job. But basically what you're trying to do is you're trying to get these fibers to bundle up and expose themselves, so you got more surface area for your spark when you're trying to light that on fire. You can get that down here in the pan. Help stabilize that a little bit. Then what you want to do is you want to make sure that you hold your striker, I'm going to use the back of this, next to where you want it to light, and then you pull away your sparker device. So as you can see, that started up pretty quick, and threw a fire bundle on there. It's not started, it's smoking a little bit. That's one of the neighbor's horses in the background there. I've obviously got this jute tied up pretty tight, and this wood's still a little bit green, so it's not one to get going too fast. But there it goes. And so let this burn for a minute or two and then start adding some bigger pieces to it. And I just use this pan to practice with. So that's it. There you go for this episode, and talk to you later.